Hey, what's up, freaky people? So, clearly, I have a lot of paintings to show you today. I'm not messing with audio, and the lighting is probably terrible, and I don't really care. I'm doing the stupid video, okay? That's the part that matters. Showing what I've done in the past month is what matters. That's what I have to keep telling myself. Okay, I do have like a lot of stuff to show you. Mostly it's paintings, and I have a surprise medium to share with you today. But we're going to start off with knitting. And I did finish just barely, just today, my blue and gold vanilla socks. And they haven't been washed or anything yet. This is the one that I just finished today, and I didn't weave in most of the ends. I did the like heel end and the toe end, and then everything else still needs to be woven in and cut off, but this one's completely done, and I love the color. And wipe all the salt and ickiness off my foot. It fits pretty perfectly, I think. It's a terrible angle to show a sock. But that's okay, whatever. It's a sock, it fits, it feels great. It's the colors that I wanted. They're not gonna get confused with Ian's socks. And now I have 4 pairs of regular hand knit socks that I can wear just any day with my shoes. So that's super exciting. We are approaching an actual full sock wardrobe. So yeah, that's exciting. I do need to order some more sock yarn. I do still have a little bit of the blue and a little bit of the yellow left of this one, and then I have probably about 50 grams of the speckled Hello Gorgeous from Leading Man Fiber Arts that I liked so much, but I think I want to mix it this time with like probably like a light tan heel and toe, maybe pink if I'm feeling real fancy or something like that, I don't know, but a solid color, just to stretch it out more. And yeah, I wish I had made the legs an inch longer. I was thinking about doing 4-inch legs, but I got scared that I would run out of yarn, so I just went with 3, and then I had a ton left over, so I totally could have done 4 inches. But that's okay, whatever. I'll do a 4-inch leg on my next one, and then like I said, I'll do a 64 stitch for that. And I'm thinking I'm gonna do like an all over rib, so I'll do like a knit 3 purl 1 rib and see how that goes. So yeah, love socks. Super excited to always have a new pair of socks. Next up, we've got camisole number 4, and it's only, ugh, this thing is so hard to show until it's finished, but there we go. So that's the front part. It's joined. It's at the point where I need to cast on for the back sections, which are just smaller versions of the front triangles, and then you join all that together, and then you just knit it in the round. And it's gone much easier this time, because this time I got the Luca blush needles that I like, and the wood is like so much easier on my fingers. Let me tell you, I'm using US 2.5 3mm needles. The pattern calls for size 4 needles, and I did try to swatch with that, and like the fabric was way too loose. Like even now it's hard to tell because it's so bright in here. But even now it's like a little bit loose, but I know that this yarn does bloom, which is strange because it's a cotton linen blend, and then it's like a chain construction, so it's got like very skinny fibers in there. but it is blue. So I think it'll be fine. I don't think you're gonna be able to see my tatas. It looks way too small. Oh, it looks like it's for a child. Anyway, so that I got started because I did want to get it started, and then I put it down because I knew I wanted to finish the socks. And of course, the September sweater is in hibernation because it's too hot for me to work on it, and I need to figure out how to join it in the round. And I'm considering actually that maybe the better thing to do is to rip it back to wherever I picked up the stitches to do. I think it was probably the front section, I can't remember. But anyway, whatever I did right before joining in the round, so that I know I'm at the right place, because like I tried to do a lifeline and like that didn't really work out. And so this time when I get to that point, I will put in a lifeline before I join it in the round, so that when I do have to rip it back, it's not like I have to figure out where all these stitches go in this stitch pattern that I'm not familiar with. So yeah, and it didn't take very long at all to do that section, so it wouldn't be a big deal, and it would probably make me feel better. So that's really probably what I'm gonna do. But there's nothing to show you, so I'm not gonna talk anymore about that. Let's talk about paintings, I guess. So this guy over here is finished. Last time you saw him, I think he had everything except for his shirt done, probably. Maybe I hadn't done the arms, I don't know. I'm gonna say I probably did the arms and everything, and just not the shirt. So, do you like how the shirt turned out this time? It's very nice. Because it's white, it's obviously a shirt, but then it's like splattery and it blends in with the background really nicely. So, he's done. Very excited about that. Next, I'm gonna take you off. Next thing is this. This you almost certainly did not see last time. I'm pretty sure I just started it. And you can get closer up and see what's kind of going on in the details. It's not finished. The figure just still has drawing gum on it, and that section does too. And I think I'm probably gonna go over like the walls again, and maybe the floor, although I do kind of just like the floor the way it is, just to make them a little more interesting. I'll talk more about what that is about in a minute. These two, the living room scenes are done. The right one, the one on the right, I don't really care about. It didn't really turn out very well, and I like got bored with it. So here, you can see it's pretty lazy. It looks fine. Yeah, but whatever. Don't care. It's done. It's over with. This one here, still very happy with the feet, especially that one. You can't see very well. Yeah, she's luscious. So that's totally done. I've done like any drawing on it that I thought I would do. And so these were my first sort of experiments with doing scenes, and I do think this method might work out better, although I'm a little concerned that it'll turn out too much like an illustration or like a children's book or something, whereas these are not so much like that. I don't know, but not crazy about them, don't hate them, but they're done and it's fine. So I guess this is technically the fourth, kind of the third finished painting. I'm really proud of the hands in particular. I'm not very good at hands or feet. They're difficult, but this one I was like, yeah, that just worked. Face is whatever. And we got, you know, little sections drawn in. Lots of splatters. Lots of colors happening. What else? Oh yeah, so this is the second part, or second piece, along with this room down here, this one, that is going to be, I guess, I don't know, cheesy and an experiment for me. I'm doing some Twin Peaks paintings because Ian and I were talking about taking photographs for paintings and how difficult it is, because photography is difficult and the videography is not simple or easy, has its own difficulties. But like if you want to take a still image of someone like in a specific way looking attractive, like you have to catch it at that exact moment. But if you have a video of someone doing the same sorts of things that they would do if you were photographing them, like, you know, you tell them to move their head slightly and like slowly and things like that, then it might be easier to find a still image that you could use potentially for painting. Of course there's like frame rates and problems with that also, so like maybe you wouldn't, but it's a thought. So and we were like, well, you have to take a video of the person, and he's like, you could just paint, you know, movie stills or whatever. And it's like, well, yeah, but I don't really want to paint a celebrity or something like that. That's weird. And I don't do fan art, which is like the funny thing. Yeah, my brother came and visited for a night and was talking about how he hadn't made any art recently, and I was like, oh, what kind of art do you normally make? And he was like, fan art. And I was like, oh, well, maybe if you made your own art you would feel a little more inspired. Not that there's anything wrong with fan art, I just wouldn't necessarily call it art in the, like, you know, capital A way. But then it's like, well, people make art that's inspired by things all the time, and we don't consider that fan art, and we do consider that real art. So it's a complicated thing to think about, I guess. It's like, what type of art do you mean when you say art? Are there different types? Some people don't think there's different types, they just think it's all the same. I disagree. I think that it's hard to define, but there's, if you're doing, like, you know, fine art, like, there has to be like some element of creation involved. Like, obviously you can be creative, but I mean like creative in the sense that like you were making something that nobody else has really made, and it can be inspired by things. Everything's inspired by something, but I mean like nobody else has ever actually made that thing. So I'm rephotographing different stills from Twin Peaks and then painting them in my style. It's not like complicated at all, and it's not super extrapolated or anything like that. I just thought, you know, it would be fun, and so I'm doing it, and it's going well. And then I'm also continuing to do like the more figurative things, and just like portraits and whatever, you know. So, okay, so you can't quite see everything, but good enough, because they're just grounds and they're not finished, and some's gonna go on top of them anyway. So yeah, as of right now, this one and this one are earmarked for We all killed Laura Palmer. Or aeropsia. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like cross out the Laura Palmer and then do an aeropsia, or just, you know, I don't know. I don't know what the title is yet, but these two are earmarked for that. That can always change, as we know. And then this one, this tall skinny one, and then this giant one, which you probably, I can't even tell how big it is, but it's 5 feet by 4 feet maybe. I don't know. It's almost a square, but it's not a square, so it's kind of an awkward ratio. But they're the biggest ones that they sell at Michael's, and they're in sale. So I finally got some to try out. But those two are earmarked for more personal projects. This one's totally done. I think I'm just gonna leave it how it is and then project and paint. Actually, these two I think are also basically done, and I'm just gonna project and paint. And then this big one, I'll have to work the ground just a little bit more. I think I really like the top though, and I don't want to lose that. And I think the middle is actually really great, so I think I probably just actually need to go over the like solid areas again, to make them more interesting, because they're just kind of like these bland spaces, and it's like so big, so I want to make sure it has a good amount of texture and some lusciousness. Before I project, because yeah, it's the biggest thing that I've painted in a long time. I did try to paint some bigger things when I was in school, but that wasn't super successful because I was really bad at time management. And really bad at painting at the time. Yeah, that's everything for painting. That's everything for knitting. And then I have a surprise for you. We have a bunch of ceramics to share with you today. Those are heavy, so I'm gonna put them down. All right, let's see. So we'll start with mugs. I have not done ceramics since I left school, so it's been about 7 or 8 years. I was never great at it. I will fully admit I was never great at it. I am better now than I was, and I think when I go back and do it again in a month, I will do even better. Mugs are the thing that I am second worst at. Worst is probably plates. I have a terrible time not being able to get plates off bats because I throw really wet, and like I don't want to steal the bat and have it sitting on my shelf forever. But anyway, no one cares. So I made these mugs. Here's this one. And I actually made 3 of it. One of them Ian took to the office. And I would say this is a pretty good size for a mug for me. I like smaller mugs. I don't like those gigantic Viking things that people like. Your coffee gets cold if you use those things, in my experience. And maybe you'll drink too much coffee, which you shouldn't. Don't drink too much coffee. It makes you anxious whether you think it does or not. And yeah, so the thickness is overall pretty good. Of course, this area is where I always a little too much. I have difficulty taking that off when I'm trimming. Second problem I would say is the handle. I'm really bad at handles, and so that's why I'm bad at mugs. You can see it's very wonky. It's not a pulled handle, it is just like a slab D handle, which is what I like. I don't really like pulled handles, actually. Yeah, so gotta work on the handle. It's not big enough. I need to be able to fit these 2 fingers all the way in, and I can't. I don't do this. You can do this, I guess, and that's the best way that I could drink it, but yeah, I'm a mug holder hugger, you know. So it needs to be able to do that. The glaze, I wrote them down. So since I haven't done this in forever, I just used these as test tiles basically, because I knew we were going to have this heavy bottom problem. But my trimming has gotten so much better. Can you see it? And yeah, it's just my initials right now. Maybe I'll have a stamp made at some point. And most of these are porcelain. I think there's some stoneware in here. I prefer porcelain because it's softer and like my hands and wrists don't hurt so much. This is mug 1. So this was Iron Chino, this bronzy color, which is probably not showing up very good on the camera, but it is beautiful in real life. And then it has, it just says Wrights. I don't know if it's Wrights green. It must be, because it kind of ran a little green, you know, in these spots. So it must be Wrights green. Yeah, I love chinos. Who doesn't? The Iron Chino that we have at the studio is the smoothest, I think. And then I just got an email the other day that like they're gonna not have it next term, which is sad, but whatever. Anyway, second mug. This one is number 2. I made 3. Like I said, the third one's at Ian's office. This is the toasted marshmallow mug, as Ian calls it. And again, my trimming's gotten like so much better. I'm so happy about it. And yeah, it's got all these marks, but it's okay. Doesn't matter. And I think that's Iron Chino again underneath, yeah. And then it has white mamo glaze on top, which has actually grown on me. I didn't like it at all when it first came out of the kiln, but yeah, I'm liking it a lot more now. Again, thickness is pretty good, size pretty good, could be like, you know, slightly bigger. And then the only real issue, this one doesn't really have so much of the bottom heaviness problem, but it does not have the best handle. It's not big enough, mainly. It's just not. It's not a teacup. We're not gonna, you know, it's a mug for coffee, for coffee people. Yeah, this must be Wrights green. Yeah, so there's 2 of the mugs. The third one, it was a little more flared actually, so it looks more like a teacup. But what I did for that one was an LTW glaze. I don't know what that is. Underneath green to black glaze. I don't know what either one of those are. I've never heard of them before. They have a bunch of different glazes. Some of them I've used before, some are new. Yeah, let's just keep going through cups. And then we have these 2 little guys, which were meant to be wine glasses, and they do work as wine glasses if you fill them up all the way, and then it's like a serving of wine. But I wanted them to be a little more like, you know, full-size wine glasses, and then you fill it halfway. This one I like the shape of quite a bit. It's really smooth. It comes back in, which I like. This one is more open. Here, I'll show you the side that's got good drippy drips on it. So yeah, I think this one's prettier overall, but it is smaller. This one's, you know, whatever. They're more like tea bowls, I think, after all. Yeah. So that's okay. It's inside. And for these, this one is number 2. Okay, so yeah, they both have white chino under, I thought so. I think we will still have a white chino, which is good because I do like it. It's not as smooth, so maybe not so much on the inside of things, but I do like it on the outside because it does like all of these nice flaring sorts of bronzy orange effects that we love. But on the inside, yeah, it's like a little too porous. It would be fine. And I'm like, I have multiples that have it on the inside and like I'll still use them. But I just like maybe wouldn't give it to someone else because they might not like it as much, or you know, who knows? Who knows? So what was I saying? White chino under. Okay, so this one has Oribe over the top. And then this one has a yellow mamo, right? Yes, yellow mamo. Which again, I didn't like so much when it first came out, and now I'm thinking that maybe like I don't want it all over something, but I think it does have a use, especially where it runs. Like, yeah, I'm a sucker for runs. I do love them. I know, it's silly, but I think they're pretty. Alright, and then we have what were supposed to be normal size glasses, like a pint glass, you know, something that you can actually hold some water in and then drink it. And you don't have to go fill it up every 5 minutes. But these were the first attempts at that, and they're not big enough. They're more like cocktail glasses, that kind of size. Or like cold brew coffee or juice or something like that. Something that you don't want a ton of all at once. And this one, I like this one. I don't like the drips that went up, really. So yeah, we'll have to be careful next time with like how I handle these drips. But like I said, they're just test tiles. Again, heavy on the bottom. I also didn't use a rib to smooth out the side. So they're very natural. They're not thick and formed to your hand. This is 2. Alright, so cup 1 is iron chino underneath again, and then Bailey glaze over top, which I think is fine. It does do like a nice crackly thing, but like I'm just not crazy about it. I use the cup for my cold brew in the morning, and it does work with that. This one, cup number 2, was white chino under, of course, and then white mamo over. What else did I do white mamo over? Was it this one? Was it the mug? Yep. Yep. So white mamo over the iron chino, and then white mamo over the white chino. And I don't think it's coming up on screen at all, or very much, but this is sort of purple, a very, very, very light purple, and you can see it a little bit more in the spots where it like drips and runs, which I do like, especially mixed with the orange, purple and orange. It looks good to people. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little small. Like, see, this one is too wide. If it was a little bit taller, I think it would actually be perfect because it does hold a really good amount of liquid. This one is like the circumference that I would like, but it's too short. for these like in between sizes, because these would be, like I said, like a juice glass or a cocktail glass, like something like that. So that's those. And then we have, what's this one? 5. So cup, what's this one? This one's 7. Yeah, this one's 7. So cups 3, 4, and 6, I don't have back yet, I don't think. I'm not saying I don't think, I don't have them back. I don't know if they weren't fired yet when I went or what, but I'm sure they'll still be there when I go back for the next term. So this is cup 5, which is getting closer to this. I think, again, we just have the problem where I got too wide, just a little bit, and lost some of the height that I needed. This one, this one doesn't feel like I used a rib on it either, but I could be wrong. And then I did like a very poor attempt at decoration on that, with some blue slip and some like etching and pink slip. Just, again, test tiling, trying to see things. And then I did like some sgraffito sorts of things, because maybe I'll do like some inlay, some glaze inlay in certain areas later. But yeah, it's a good size cup. Like, it holds a good amount of liquid, so there's nothing wrong with it. It is not so much thick on the bottom, I do have to say, just kind of maybe heavy overall, because again, it's been so long since I've made pottery, and yeah, so I need to get my stuff a little bit thinner. So it doesn't need to be super thin. You do want to feel like you're holding something in your hand, I feel like, or at least that's what my professors told me I should feel like. But whatever. Anyway, number 5, this iron chino inside. And then clear outside. So this must just be, this rim doesn't look anything like the iron chino. So where those met, it seems to have kind of like broken and crackled a little bit. It's not at all to the point that it's gonna like cut you or flake off or anything. It's just textured. And I think it's fine to have textured ceramics. Even ones that you use like to drink out of. I can't remember who it was, but I was watching a video, and it was a ceramicist, obviously. He was talking about making like tea bowls, I think, and how he liked to have a very textured rim, because of the way that he felt like it caught the tea, and the way that like it enhanced the experience of drinking the tea, because there was this like third sensory experience with the like texture on your lips. And I like that. It's just a nice thought. Right, this was 5, yeah, okay. So yeah, that's cup 5. It's got a pretty good foot on it, really. That's my mark so that I know what number it is, so I know what glaze I did. So that cup's alright. We'll do better next time. This is cup 7. Cup 7 is unusable because of this rim. It might be hard to see there. That's like all over the rim. It looks like crumpled up paper. It's weird. And it might, no, it could cut you. And I'm not gonna sand it, it's not that important to me, it's not like a gray cup or anything. So what did I do for this one? This is number 7, that's right. 7 was a Routine wash, which is what I thought caused this, so that's good to know. I was trying to get the glaze to run, and I mean, it moved, but this is not what I wanted. I just wanted it to run. So it was Routine wash and Uribe inside, and then white Chino outside. And I do like how the inside turned out. That's actually gorgeous. So it might just be like that I put Chino over top of that. And that's where the problem was. So if I had like done the Chino further down, or done the Chino first, and then, because I know I'm sure I poured inside first and then I did the outside. Yeah. Is that really white Chino? Wow, it just got like completely orange. That's crazy. Crazy, would not have thought that was white. I like it. Anyway, so knowledge gained, it's always beneficial. And then we'll get into bowls. And this is what I made in the last 10 weeks. So like not in this past month. This is a bowl that I messed up. And I trimmed too much. Other than that, it's like literally perfect. It's so frustrating because I didn't have this heavy problem, and so it's very light. It's like a really good weight, and the walls are almost completely even. There is still, you know, just a tad at the bottom here, but it's fine. And then the foot looks really nice until I got there and it was too thin and it came through. So it's going to be a planter. It's not going to be a very good planter because it's not going to sit very high out of the water, even though it has a hole. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, what was it? What number is this one? So this was white Chino under and then Watson over. And I do think I like the Watson actually. It does some really nice things when you like get really close up. I don't know if you can see it. It gets kind of sheeny and iridescent. I like that. And then it like fades into these different speckly green colors. So almost a success. Alright, bowl 1. Iron Chino under, and then there's like a tea glaze that they have over the top, and you can just see it, just barely. This bottom part is not, this is the Chino. It's this top rim that's this tea glaze, which I do like the runs. I do. They're pretty. It's so subtle though. You can see it on the inside too. You can see it actually better on camera, I think, than you can in real life. So upon looking at it more, I do like it more, but this bowl is super heavy on the bottom. This foot could have used a lot more work. I think the bottom is like actually thin, like the walls, but then it's just this section that needs to come in more. But it's a good sized bowl. If it's a bowl of cereal or a bowl of soup, just fine. This is number 3. Bowl 3, white Mamo under, white Chino over. So remember, where is it? This cup was the white Chino under and then the white Mamo over, and then this produced a much more purple color when I reversed that and put the Mamo under and the Chino over, which is crazy. Who'd have thunk? Who would have thunk? It is more textured. The white Mammo is not textured like at all. It's like almost like clay body, but polished, like a polished clay body sort of feeling. It's okay. It's like pretty bubbly on the rim. Again, heavy bottom, but good size. Not the most interesting forms. I am not at all saying that these are interesting or even consistent. They're not. We gotta work on that later. Like I said, it's been a while. Ceramics is hard. I've never been good at it. I enjoy doing it. I don't make ceramics as art. I just make ceramics as, you know, art therapy. Okay, so then this was a nice big bowl. And then right when I was cutting it off, I like nicked it with my wire and had to turn that nick into a spout. And it's probably not the best spout. This part's fine, but it needed to like go in here a little bit more. But I was pissed. The foot turned out pretty good. Looks pretty nice. To me, again, heavy bottoms. Always got those damn heavy bottoms. The inside is not great. It's lumpy. I didn't do a very good job with that at all. Oh. But this looks really pretty in the light. Hadn't really looked at it so much in the light. It has a lot more dimension than I originally thought. I do not like this lavender. So yeah, it's a lavender glaze underneath, and then amber glaze over. And the amber is the one that I am actually liking a lot more now. Maybe you can see it, maybe not, I don't know. It has a lot of really subtle dimension and sheen that I do like. Didn't know there was anything to like about that bowl until just now. This one actually, pretty good. Overall, I think it has a better shape. Foot's still nicely trimmed. The inside still could have been ribbed out and smoothed some more, but the outside form I think looks much nicer. It has a lot of lift, and I like that. I did like doing the slip designs on it, so I did a blue slip and then a pink slip. So it was LTW, don't know what that glaze is, sorry, underneath, and then Arrive over and inside. And that's okay. I think maybe I would try like a Rotel wash on the inside to see if I could get these colors to break up some more. And again, it crackled on the rim here, so I can't use it. And it's even worse than that cup was. But what was that? Yeah, I don't know why that one happened. I have no idea. I don't know why it crackled all like that and broke. But it could have just been a problem with the kiln, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. Not super into it, but I do think the form is nice, and I did like the slip decorations, and yeah, it's gonna go in the trash because nobody can use it for anything. And this bowl is way too heavy on the bottom, but it is pretty. I did the same blue slip on the outside and just kind of like, you know, brushed it on really quick and kind of dry with a big brush. And here, I don't know if you can see it, just down here at the bottom, that's the slip on the clay body without any glaze, and it's this matte navy color, and ooh, I do like it. It wasn't intentional. I think I must have just like dipped it or something, or you know, it was probably this. I did one of those. So it just didn't quite get to the foot, but I do like it, and I will probably use that in the future. I'm not going to show you the foot here because I just kept gouging at it for some reason. This one has Rutile wash inside, and I think it's just a clear lace over the outside. What? No, this was blue Celadon over, so maybe that's why it turned the blue lighter. Maybe it would have been darker if it had been clear. I don't know. But I do like the matte-ness of this anyway, so I could totally see myself just doing slips and then leaving the raw clay body on the outside. Inside was Rutile and white Chino inside. And I do like the strokes. I don't think the Rutile really did what I wanted it to. I read somewhere that Rutile helps colors run, and it just did not at all in any of these situations where I was trying to get it to. So yeah, who knows? That's okay. So I have a vase that's not here, that wasn't done, and 1, 2, 3 cups and 1 bowl. No, oh no, that 1 bowl I do have, but it's in the dishwasher. Sorry. Yeah, so that's what I made in this little 10-week class. And it's not very much. It's not as much as I thought I would make, because I did, it was slow for me to like work my way up to start making things again, because it's been so long. So like I think probably the first couple days that I was throwing, I would just like crumble and you know, let the clay dry out, because it wasn't even as good as these, and these are not very good. So yeah, I'm not great at ceramics. It's really difficult for me, but I do think that it's a lot of fun and very tactile and soothing. So I'll be back doing that in the fall, so you'll see some new things, and hopefully I will improve. My goal has always been to make a full set, like a dinnerware set with like all of the different cups that I would want and all of the different plates and bowls. I didn't do any plates this time. I did try, but I think I might have said this earlier. I throw a little wet, partially because I don't have a lot of hand and wrist and like finger strength, and so ceramics is difficult for multiple reasons, but that's one of them. Yeah, and so if it's a little bit wetter and if it's porcelain, then it's much easier for me to throw, but then that makes it harder to take the thing off the bat when you've thrown it, and yeah, so I've got to figure that out. They don't have a dry box. Otherwise, obviously, I would just use a dry box. We're about to die. So, yeah, I'm going to say goodbye. So long. I hope you're well. I hope you will become well if you are not currently. I hope you get to do whatever keeps you going. I'll See you next time.